Hey guys, so welcome to my first ever tutorial video. I know this isn't the Pop Goes tutorial, but it's just a tutorial on V, but I'm gonna make the Pop Goes tutorial once I hit 1,000 subs, so yeah. But for right now, we're doing a V tutorial, because, well, I'm remaking her, so yeah. Anyways, so let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, so the materials you're gonna need are black pipe cleaners, cardboard, hot glue sticks, some scissors, a hot glue gun, and some light green fabric, and some other light green that's like kind of slightly lighter than it, but it wouldn't really matter. But it could be this same light green, but it doesn't really matter. But anyways, I'm just using what I got here. So yeah. Kind of gray color, like this pretty darkish gray. So yeah. I also forgot you also need black fabric too. Okay, so with the cardboard, you're gonna need to cut out this shape first, but I'm getting a tape measure here. But you're gonna have to at least have it be whatever measurements those are, at least like 2.5 inches or something. So yeah, I never really measure stuff, but yeah. For this tutorial, I guess I'm measuring that. Next, you're going to want to cut out this shape right here. This is going to be for the side, and you got to make sure that this is as long as this. And also, when you're cutting this, basically just cut out this same shape, but just like cut the ends right here slightly diagonal, and this one another slightly diagonal, and then this one also slightly diagonal, so that way you end up getting this sort of shape. And you're also going to want to cut out 2 of these for both sides of the head. Also, another thing to make this a lot easier, make sure to like draw like a little thing to indicate which part is like the front side of her head, so that way you can get like the sides right and the bottom and all that stuff right. So that way it doesn't like get confusing and then you lose your spot and then it just looks all wonky and all that. Because that's what kind of happened with my old V. Because the shape, it's not really fully accurate to me, but So you're gonna, and also another thing, you're gonna need to cut out 2 like of these little small circles. Squares. And one thing, you gotta make sure that once you have them there, that a little bit of the sides are like sticking out a bit, like it doesn't like fully complete it. And also make sure that it's the same like height, like here, almost like that. Yeah. Just make sure it's like that, and you're gonna need to make 2 of these, so yeah. Alright, and now that we have most of the parts for the head done, we're gonna get to gluing them now. But one thing, if you are like pretty young and you don't know how to use a hot glue gun, it's best that you ask a parent or someone to help you with this, because as well, hot glue, it gets pretty hot and it will burn you. But with me, since I'm pretty much used to it, it doesn't really affect me much. And also, if you heard a train, that's because I actually have the actual Dandy's World game pulled up, because this is how I'm determining the size and shape of her head and all that. Yeah, I am kind of just eyeballing it, but it'll work. Okay, so you're gonna have to flip this over because well, this is obviously the front due to your indicator if you add 1, and you're gonna have to glue these. So it's gonna be hard to do with one hand, and because, well, I'm also recording this. Okay. There you go. And then now you gotta attach this right here, like that. And then you're just gonna have to kind of do that same thing with all of them. them, I'll just kind of cut to it being done. Also, this is kind of optional. If you want to like keep like these sides stabled, I recommend you like put glue around here, the edges here on the inside, right? Like there and there, like how you can kind of see I put some glue there. And yeah, just make sure you kind of like put glue all over the edges on the inside, so that way it just kind of stays a little extra stable. So yeah. Alright, and after gluing all these together, you should end up with this. And the reason why I didn't add the back yet is because I'm gonna add some stuff on the inside to keep it more stabilized. Nice. But that one thing, there are two options for this that you could do. The first option, it does use a lot of hot glue. You can just you can attempt to fill up like the entire head with hot glue, or almost the entire head. I did this with Goob right here. Here's a picture of that. So yeah, you could do that. But one thing, it does make the puppet's head very heavy, and it could also be deadly too. Like, for example, something fell. But yeah, this head, it is very hard. You can practically hammer in a nail with this. But yeah, this is an option. It is pretty easy, but it does take up a lot of hot glue, and it may or might not be dangerous. I'm not fully sure, but I'm not willing to test that, so yeah. But the other option you can do is what I'm about to do here. You can take some of the access cardboard, or make sure it kind of fits in there, and then just like kind of get it in there like this. You can do this as many times as you want, or you can do it like how I did right here. And then just put a little bit of glue in there, like how I'm doing, like this. And then there. And then get a shape like this. Put a little bit of glue on there like this, and then just stick it right there. More glue here. And here. Cut out another square that's pretty small, and then just stick it in there like that. It might break, but like how it did here, but it'll most likely be fine. And if you want, you can glue in 2 of them, like that. And then get another bit of cardboard. It can be whatever size you want. And then put some glue in the center right here, and also all around the edges, like that. Then once you got all this, just stick that right there. And then just cut off the access. And also, this also could happen. You might end up seeing like little small slivers right here. All you really need to do is just kind of trim those off. And then once you cut off all those slight slivers, you'll just end up with this. Alright, so now we're gonna get in with the fabric. So first, what you are gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take your black fabric, and you're gonna wanna put glue all over like the front of the face. You can tell using the indicator you might have made. And then just stick it on there, like, I recommend like somewhere around the edges, not like directly in the center, but yeah. And you're just gonna wanna cut off the excess. And also another thing, just so that way you don't get confused on which side is the bottom or which side is the top, make sure you write top and bottom on the thing, so that way you know which part is the top of the head and which part's the bottom of the head. Now you're gonna wanna take your green fabric. Now with this, you're just practically gonna do the same thing you did with the black fabric. You're just gonna need to put glue on the bottom, and then just stick it right there, and then cut off the excess. But you're gonna wanna start off with the bottom side, so that way, you can do this. You can take a Sharpie or whatever, and then just leave a little dot right there, because that's where the body is gonna go. You don't really have to do it with the head, but it doesn't really matter. And then you just kind of repeat that same process until you end up with something like this. All right, and now we're gonna get onto the hard part of these, which is the face. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like the sort of outline, the green little outline thing that's like around the screen, and like with 8-bit right here, for example, this little outline thing. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna cut out 2 long strips like this, and then glue them together. Then you're gonna wanna take the end of the strip and then glue it around the top right here. Then you cut off the access right here and then do the same on the bottom. Then you take what's left of the strip, cut it in half, and then sort of measure it right here, and then take the access right there. You cut that off until it fits perfectly like this. Then you take the other strip and then cut off and then you take both the strips and then you make sure that they're at about the same size, and then glue them to the sides here. Now that you're done with the head, take your black fabric again. Make sure to cut out these shapes right here. Make sure they're very small like this. Take a little bit of the green fabric, or the lighter green, which is what I'm gonna use. Glue them to the back, glue the 2 eye shapes that you made to the back like this. Cut them out like this. Then cut off the fabric around the eyes like this, but make sure you leave just a slight bit of the green fabric on the thing. And then cut out 4 triangles like this. Then glue them to the back of the eye like this. Do the same thing with the other side. And when you glue these, make sure you only put a little bit of glue on the eyelashes. Just like this. And then you should have this. But if there is a little bit of glue right there on like where the eyelashes are, just color that in with a black Sharpie and it should hide it pretty well. And then take your fabric and then cut out this little shape. And then cut out a small little rectangle like that. And then glue it in right there. And then take more little bits of the green fabric and then cut out these 2 shapes. And then glue them in like so. So now that you have these face done, now time to get to the antennas. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take a pipe cleaner and then fold it like this. Then you're gonna kinda wanna twist it around itself, like how you kinda see slightly right here, until you end up getting this. And you're gonna have to end up with 2 of these. Now what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna poke 2 holes on the top of her head. You could use the scissors, but what I normally use is this knife, but I don't really recommend you use a knife because it is very dangerous. And if you want to use a knife, I recommend you ask someone who's older or an adult to help you with this, because it is dangerous and you could harm yourself with it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's how I got this little scar right here on my thumb. And so, when you poke the holes right there, you don't really need the knife for right now, but yeah, once you poke the holes, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stick the hot glue gun into the hole and just kind of like inject some hot glue in there. And then just stick the pipe cleaner in there. And then do the same thing on the other side. You're also going to want to bend this one right here like this, like how V normally has her antenna bent. And then with like the access pipe cleaners, you're going to want to roll them up until you get like this sort of ball shape. Then you're going to want to take your gray fabric right here and then cut out these 4 small squares. Then you're going to want to glue the 4 squares to the antennas like how you see right here. And then you cut off the access, and then now V's head is fully complete. So now we're gonna get onto the body. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to take this hole right here this like little dot right here that you drew. Use your knife or scissors or whatever to cut a hole like this, and make sure it's pretty big too. Take a pipe cleaner and fold it like this, and then just stick it in there, and also put some hot glue in there too, which I did off screen. and then fold the two things like this until you, like this. And then you twist this up like this, and you should be left with this. Okay, and you're gonna wanna take the pipe cleaners, and then you're gonna wanna do this, that, and then just kind of wrap it around like this, and then kind of just wrap it all around the body. Like that. And then you continue that same process of wrapping all the pipe cleaners around the body until you end up with something like this. And now you cut out a little green square, and make sure, or once you have it on the back of the body, not glued yet, make sure you have it look like this. And make sure you cut out another square that's slightly bigger than the square that you previously cut it out. Put some glue on the back like this and attach the smaller square right there. Make sure you put glue all over the body like this, and then put this right there. And then once you attach to the body, make sure you pinch it so that way you end up getting something like this. Also pinch it enough where all these like little wrinkles aren't like all over to the side right there, because then it'll look a bit messy. Then cut off all the axes until you get this. Okay, now you want to take two pipe cleaners like this, twist them together, Heather, and then twist them until you get this. And then use your knife or scissors and cut out a hole, two holes right there, but make sure the holes are big enough and you cut them through enough so that way this can go through those two holes. So that way you can get this. And also put a little bit of glue in there too to kind of keep it in there. And then you're going to want to do the same thing you did with V's body where you wrap the pipe cleaner around, but except you're just only going to need one pipe cleaner, not multiple. So yeah. And then use that one pipe cleaner and wrap it until you get this. Then you're going to want to bend the pipe cleaner like this and this. And then you take another pipe cleaner and wrap it around the hand right here and then all the way throughout the arm, and it should look like this. Then take your gray fabric, cut out this, and then use that little strip and then wrap it like that. Cut off the excess. And then you cut out these two shapes. Glue this one on the back of the hand. It will be hard, but then just cut out all the excess and you should have the hand looking like this. My kitty came to say hi. Hi, kitty. My cat Phoebe came to say hi. Hi, Phoebe. And then you do the same thing you did on the arm right here, and do it on the other side. And then you're gonna wanna do that same pipe cleaner twisting method and do two more. Glue them into the body like this. And then bend them the way how you would like want the feet to be, like how long you would want them, until you get this. And then bend these again, and then bend the feet, and if you have like little bits of excess right there, just bend them like this. And afterwards the feet should look like this. And then bend what you have of the feet like this. Then take a few pipe cleaners, wrap it around the leg and foot until it's thick like this. Take a strip of gray fabric, wrap it around the leg and cut the excess off like how you did with the arms. Cut out two squares, one being bigger than the other. Glue the smaller bit of fabric to the bottom of the feet. Cut a little slit into the bigger piece of fabric. Glue it on like this. Glue around the foot and then pinch it. Cut off the excess. And then do the same thing you did on this foot. And then repeat it with this other foot. Now you're gonna wanna put this off to the side because now we're gonna work on our bow tie. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna make two long, thick green strips like this and just glue them together. Then cut them into 3 squares. Now use one of the squares to try and cut out this shape right here, this sort of like little heart shape. And use one of the other squares to cut out 2 of them. Glue them together like this. And use the 3rd square to cut out a small circle and glue it in the center of this. This next step is optional, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this green Sharpie and color the inside of the bow like this. And put some glue on this, and then glue it there. And here she is. And you could stop here if you want, but if you wanna add the microphone tail, I'm gonna show you how to make that. Anyways, you're gonna need to do yet again another one of these pipe cleaner twist things. Cut another long strip of the gray fabric. Wrap it around and cut off the excess until you get this, but leave a little bit of the actual pipe cleaner exposed. Take a square of green, wrap it all around this end, still leaving this exposed pipe cleaner end, and you don't need to cut off any excess or anything, just leave it like this. Take a square of the gray, put some hot glue in the center, and then kind of just crumble it up a bit, like how I'm doing here. And keep wrapping until you get this. And you cut off that excess. Take another square, glue it in the center like this, and then put more glue around it, and then fold it up again. And then you should get this again, and you cut off the excess, and then glue it on here. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but I also added the little hashtag thing that's on the microphone with a thin tip Sharpie, so yeah, you can do that as well. Use a knife or scissors to cut a little hole right here. You put some glue in there, and then stick this in there. And then get it like that. And then, there you go. You have your finished V puppet. Now, with this, I did accidentally make her limbs a little too long, but I can always fix that someday. But, yeah, it ain't that big of a deal, you know? I mean, if you want, you can make your V's tall or short or whatever. Or heck, you can even turn it into Twisted V if you want to attempt. And also, here she is compared to my normal V. Yeah, a lot better. And another character, here she is compared to Goob. Pretty short. And here she is compared to a Funko plush. If you want to imagine how big this thing would probably be, it would be as big as a Funko plush. Now get out of here. Oh, I'm sorry I hit you with the plushie, kitty. I didn't mean to. But yeah, hold on. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, screw you, kitty. But yeah, if you want to try and do your own thing with this little tutorial I made for V, can you stop? Anyways, if you want to try to do your own thing with this tutorial of V, then you are free to do it. I mean, you don't have to specifically make V. You can do characters like Goob or whatever, or like I said earlier, Twisted V. Or you can just use the tutorial to make your own little character or something, you know? You can just do whatever. And yeah, I guess I'll end off this video. And if anyone actually does use this tutorial reel that I made, then please make a post or a video showing off what you made with this tutorial reel, mentioning me in it, because I would really love to see the stuff that you all make with this. And yeah. And another thing, I will not be selling my old V. I will be giving it away to my friend Royce, who I'm actually currently on a call with. Hold on. Hey Royce.
What?
Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, you're gonna be getting my old V. How do you feel?
I feel good. Also, make sure to bring it tomorrow.
I will make sure to bring it to school with me so I can give it to you.
Put it in your backpack.
Screw you. Anyways, so, yep. I hope you all enjoyed. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time when I upload a video. So, goodbye. Goodbye, kitty.